Well, it's Margaret again from M.E.s Orchids, and I've brought you into the grow room. We've got the little fan on up there with the frags. I've had the big oscillating fan on, and we've got the humidifier on. The humidity went up to 60, but I've had the door open, so it's gone down to 55, and it's now between 22 and 23 for the temperature, and we've got sunshine. So that's very welcomed. The cold spell looks as though it might be over now for us. Wednesday it went down to 14 degrees in this little grow room, which is our third bedroom. The night after it went down to 16. But since then the temperatures have been normal. Now Keith's semi-retired, so he's at home, and he's always keeping his eye on the humidity in this room and also the temperature. So why I brought you back in today is because I don't want people to misunderstand me in the concept of how I grow these phalaenopsis. Now, I've shown you this one before, and you see that those roots are hydrated. Now, people do get confused, well, when should I water them? Now, that depends on your environment, like I've explained before. And my environment at the moment is because it's gone very cold. And but today I've come into the grow room, and I can't believe how many things all of a sudden needed watering. Now, this phalaenopsis doesn't need watering because it's got those lovely green roots. Okay, so I'm going to move that over here now, and I'm going to put this, I've got to be careful today because I want to bring others across, and I don't really want to knock anything. So if I put that one back on that shelf, now you see this lovely one, it's just a supermarket one, and it's flowering again for me, and that's in a clay pot with some gravel, decorative gravel. Now that's a different kettle of fish to these in this pot, because the water will evaporate quicker. Well, I find it does anyway. So let's take you to this one now. This is the other one. This is in that nice decorative vase. And let's just take you around and show you those roots. Okay. Now, bearing in mind, today is still a very cold day. It's very warm in here, and I've got the window open. But I tell you what, you step outside this front door and the wind chill factor's still there. So you can see there now, there's still moisture. There's still moisture in that vase. So that won't get watered. I'll check it again tomorrow. But to all intents and purposes, that doesn't need doing today. She's still got some light green roots, and she's got a darker green root there. So if I'll just put that one on one side because I want to bring you this one over now. Can you see there? Now, there's very, you can just see a little amount of water in the bottom there. I think this one originally had 3 hydrating roots, so you can see the 2 there, and I'll turn around if I can. Oops, she's catching, sorry about that, she was catching on one of my flowers over there. I don't want that, I'll put that one back in a minute. Right, so can you see that other root there? There. Now, that was also absorbing moisture the other day. Sorry about that. And so the water level's gone below that root, and you can see it started to dry out. But I don't worry. I'm not worried at all about this one, because, oops, oh, she's got caught again, because there's still enough moisture in there for those 2 roots to take up. And until those roots go grey, like that other one, I shan't water her, because there's no need. There's enough humidity in this room, and at the moment there's enough moisture there in the decorative gravel at the bottom. Now just hold on again. Sorry about this. I'm going to get up now. Right, this is one of my original Phalaenopsis. I think I actually got this before my mum died, and it was a lovely one, this was. And of course in those days, complete novice, it's got crown rot. And the others all died, but this one I managed to keep her alive, and I can't remember whether she's flowered again, but I don't worry about that at the moment. It's just as long as I've got her alive, that's the main thing, because if she's alive she's got a chance eventually to grow. You see the vellum and cane off that was a bit rotten, but I've just left that there. Now let's have a look at this one. See, she's got that lovely green root there. She's very happy in there. Let's just take her round. See? There. Now, I can't see any dark green roots there, can you see? There's no dark green roots there. Now, there, you see? They're all grey. Grey to pale green. And I don't think she'll come to any harm. I might just give her a little sprinkling, and this is what I do. Okay, let me just show you what to do. Let's just pump up this this container here, and all I do is see, that's all I do. See that water level? See all those roots that have actively now just turned green, and she's lovely and hydrated now. You can see the water level here, and I will look at this one again on Wednesday. So I'm going to put this one back now, if you'll bear with me. Oh, just let me, I'll just sneak this one in. This is supposed to be a mini. Look at the size of those leaves. Now this one is in bark. Oh, hold on. It's got nice roots. Got nice roots developing there. And that's another little vase. Quite heavy at the bottom. That I picked up yesterday. And I was dead chuffed about that. So I thought to myself, when she's not yet, I'm not moving this one over yet, because she hasn't been in that bark that long, and she's not as big as the others. So, but I've got the vase ready, and that might be 12 months time before I move her into this, and I might not move her. I might have another plant, and I'll put the other plant in. But she's doing very well, and she's got a pale green root there. She won't get watered. I'll check her tomorrow, and if she's still the same tomorrow, it'll be Wednesday. So bear with me again now. And the reason I want to just show you how I do things is because you know, we all have our own way of watering, and I found, particularly where I live anyway, that these Phalaenopsis, if you give them, there's humidity all around. These aerial roots, the roots down in here, they're taking that humidity in. And what I don't want them to do, because we're not in, well, spring is just around the corner, we've not arrived there yet. Winter has certainly had a sting in her tail, and this one, you can see she's got some bark left on there. I've not disturbed her roots at all by taking that bark off. I don't think there's any need. She's got some nice green on some of those roots down there. Now let's turn around. And there we go. She's got a little bit of moisture still left in there. So I shan't water her today. I shall check her tomorrow to see whether all that moisture's been taken up. So that's what I don't do, is I don't have them sitting in too much water. I can easily top the water level up just a little bit round here so they can take that moisture up, but I don't have them permanently sat in any water. Right, so that's the falls done now, and my reasoning just to bring you back was just to talk about the water level, because people you know, they do watch, and I've noticed that some of them are converting over to how I grow mine, but you might be in a different environment than me, so those roots will tell you whether they want hydrating. And if you're going to hydrate them, don't swamp them with water. Let them hydrate, let them take that water up, give them a couple of days. You might only have to give them a day, and then you'll introduce some more water. So they've always got that little time in between where they've got a little rest. Right, I'm going to put that one back now, and I'm going to put this big one back up here. And then, because you know what I'm like with my clumsy hands. Right, now, while I'm stood up, that big Phalaenopsis, you know what I mean, one of the three sisters, and I said I'd broke it, I'd knocked the centre out. Well, I did knock the centre out, but it's still continuing to grow. Look at that. Absolutely amazes me, this does. Right, I'm going to take you down now, and I want to oh, before I forget, with the Phalaenopsis ones, sorry about that, I'm wandering off again. Remember this big one? Well, if you touch that now, that's as dry as a board. And this is the one that I said I'm not going to water. And if you look at her roots, can you see them? Let's just lift her up. Can you see those roots? So at some point today or tomorrow, I will place her in a container and she can take up some moisture. I just know that she's now ready for watering, and now whether that comes with experience, probably it does, so she will get hydrated this weekend. I'll just bob her back up there. There we go. And I just wanted to bring you the adenum or adenium. Do you remember this one that shed all its leaves in the winter? And I thought, oh goodness gracious, what's happened to this one? Well, look, she's coming back to life. Now you get little webs and spider mite and things, so you just have to always just check. Always check your plants. Right, I'm going to put her down now, and I'm going to bring this big one up. And now I'm only one-handed here, so I'm going to have to be ever so careful, because this one is my dendrobium, and this is labelled wrong. It's thissiflorum, not densiflorum, and I know that because she has flowered for me before. And I brought her actually into the grow room now, because she was on the windowsill in our bedroom, and she'd been there all winter, and she'd had the cold, and she's had the bright sunlight, but it was getting, just before we've had this cold spell, it was getting too bright and too hot. So I brought her in this room here, and of course, to my delight, she's budding. And now I'm better just bringing her down here and trapping her between the... There we go. So now the sun's coming out again. There we go. And I'm not so sure, just bear with me because I'm moving around as I'm filming, come on, where's my finger? That might be another breakout, so I might have 2 buds on there. And I've been checking all these others. Look at the swelling on that one. So she might well give me multiple flowers this year. I have to be ever so careful. And I don't want to move them much because these buds have set now, and I don't want to disturb her too much, but I have lifted her down this morning because I've watered her. And of course, let me put her back on the table now. There we go. Because I've been checking her to see whether or not I've got any other buds developing. That's another one there. I've been all over her because there are places where she is capable, even on these old canes. See that one there? Can you see that one there? Yeah. Oops, my fingers. There. There's a swelling there. Can you see the other swelling there? It amazes me how they can have all this sheath round them, and you think, well, they can't possibly break out of there, but they do. So this sits up there on that top shelf, and I've watered her just. Because that's another thing now, the heat's increasing and the daylights are increasing, so they're having to be watered more. There's another little swelling there. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed on this one that I'm going to have multiple blooms on her. Right, so what else was I going to... Oh, now bear with me a minute. I shall just have to watch the length of this video because I don't want to keep everybody too long. And let's have a look. I'll just bring you these 3 down. And these are the... There we go. The dendrobium. And they haven't opened yet, but each one now has got its own individual little stems, I call them. So that's that one. Even that one, look, although there's only one on that. Oh, but there's something could happen there. We'll just have to be patient. Now, these will have to be watered this weekend. Let's bring you this one round. And that one's just got the 3 on. So although, you know, we're not there yet, we're not far off. You can see the colour starting to develop. Right, what else was I going to show you? I just wanted to show you this little species Phalaenopsis, and this one hasn't been watered today. She's in that little glass vase there with some decorative gravel, but I've not watered her today. I'll check her tomorrow, and hopefully she'll be able to be watered tomorrow. This is another little one that I can just bring her. I did this the other day and this is one that's in rescue. She's just got a cotton bud there, but this gnarled rhizome here, now you can't have any water because she could get stem rot. So what I've had to do with this one is she's resting on a piece of gravel. You've got that little root there, can you see that little root there, which I'm hoping will be able to absorb enough water, well, moisture, be able to absorb enough moisture to there's another root there. Now I'm not expecting miracles on this one, but she's getting a fighting chance, and then I just have to make sure she doesn't break free. I'll just give you a quick little update on this one as well. This is the Kalanchoe tomentosa, and even though she's only a little succulent, don't forget a little bit of fertiliser this time of the year. And I've done the same, the Christmas cactus, that's already downstairs and that's being fertilised at the moment as well. But yes, so don't forget, sometimes you know, in your excitement with all the other things, the African violets and your orchids and everything else, sometimes you can forget your little house plants, but we mustn't forget the house plants. Now, if I can, just bear with me a minute, what I want to do. I'm going to bring you over to this. This is the Cattleya Seagulls gem, and I don't want to lift her out, and I don't know whether it'll focus in, but she has got a new little growth there. Can you see it? There. And the other part, which I just wrapped sphagnum moss round, there's no signs of new growth yet. Now that will get, see that one's still quite moist. So this one, I might just spray this one today, just give her a little spray just to hydrate her, and then she goes back in there. So this cold spell, that hasn't affected it at all. In fact, she just loves it there. And I've been into the garage this morning, of course that's where the cymbidiums are, and I was so tempted this morning. I gave them a systemic spraying because of the spider mite, and I was so tempted this morning, the bone dry, I can see it with the pseudobulbs, and I was going to water them, and I just thought no, because they're in the garage, the weather is still minus, and I would then chill them. So as much as I wanted to water them, I've restrained myself. Sometimes you've got to do that. You've just got to just hold back. See this little one here, that's the Dendrobium williamsii. That's one of the ones that has a little brown furry little canes, and that new growth is coming on a treat. She had spider mite and I've treated her and she's doing well. So I don't know whether I'm running out of my space on the camera to continue, and I hope it doesn't cut off. That's the Cattleya. That's been watered this morning. Let me just quickly get this one down here, if I can, and show you the roots on this one. So that's that new root that developed there. and she's got these lovely roots here. So everything's been watered this morning, what I can water anyway. Let's just bring this one over. I may as well give you a full update if I can, and then save me having to... There we go, see that little growth at the back there. When I move that little piece of lava rock just to enable that little growth. You can't see it now because I've put it down, that little growth there to develop. So that's got the one at the front, and now it's got the one at the back. And I don't know whether you can just see there, tucked in, that's got a new growth there. So let's put this one back. Like I say, everything's been watered today, that has to be watered. And the frag's up there. I find now with that fan's on from probably 8 o'clock in the morning till at least 10:30 at night. But I've noticed when the fan's on continually like that, it isn't half drying these pots out. So these two here, I've had to bring them down and put them in this reservoir of water just to get them more hydrated. So I'll just finish off with one thing now, if the camera will allow me to. Let me just put that one back over there, and right. So this is the Pleurophthalus restropoides, and oops, sorry. That's where the inflorescence comes from. Can you see how that's elongated? We've got one. Let me just see if that's the right one. I'm trying to manoeuvre, these leaves are terrible, you know, to focus in. She's got another one there. And where's the other one? I think she's got more than... Oh, there's the other one. There, can you see? I think she's got more actually, but those are the three that I've just remembered this morning. And this one's been watered well. It's growing, it's in a really active growing mood. So, and I've got two of these from M.E.s Orchids, and if you watch his videos, you know that I'm expecting Fragmipedium Andean fire to be sent to me when the weather improves, and I'm forever grateful to Ed. The orchids I get from Ed, they're of such good quality, it's unbelievable. And anyway, I've been prattling on now for I don't know how long, and I do hope you will forgive me. It's I try not to do long videos, but see, if I do all this today, then perhaps tomorrow I can have a day off. So from me to you, let's find you something. Let's go back over here. There we go. So from me to you, have a good weekend and take